so it's like,
Well, I'm not in gray. I'm in green. Thank you very much.
say patties or something or what?
Kenner Green.
Discovery Greens?
Both. They're the same. They're one and the same.
I'd like to call the meeting of March 22nd, 2024 to order. Can I have quiet, please? Thank you. This morning I will be overseeing the meeting as chairman. Councilman Lahat had a personal matter to attend. Any special intentions from any members? Special intentions? None? Okay. If we can, I'd like to have Councilwoman Dunn lead us in prayer. Please stand.
Dear God and our Father, as we come to you this hour in the morning, we just want to tell you thank you. Lord, it seemed as though the storms passed over. We didn't have to deal with the tornadoes, the flooding, and all of that. And dear Master, as we come together, we want to ask you to be in our midst. We pray for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, dear God. We pray for the mayor, the police chief, the council, the administration. That as we take care of the business of Kenner, dear God, that we would do it with dignity, with respect. And we would do it for the betterment of your people. And we thank you for it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilwoman. If everybody remains standing, and I'd like to have Director Mark Glorioso lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council Clerk, if you will, please.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Council Clerk.
Yes, sir. If I could please make an announcement. They're having some technical difficulties, so we will not be able to live stream the council meeting, but as soon as it's finished, they will upload the video to the website and Facebook. In accordance with Council Resolution Number B14550, please be advised that all cellular telephones and other devices of this nature must be deactivated or silenced throughout the council meeting. We have a quorum this morning. Councilmember Lahat is absent. Next up, we have correspondence, reports from the mayor, CAO, or department heads.
Mayor.
Thank you. All right, to update, I think Mr. Al asked about tax numbers last meeting, so Liz is out today, which is going to be another aunt, so that's good, but she provided numbers. Citywide sales tax revenues from March so far up 2.88%, which is right about a little over $104,000 compared to the same month last year, but we're down right at 1% year to date as compared to the same time last year. In some infrastructure news, which is always good, notice to proceeds were issued to the overlay on Loyola Drive from pretty much I-10 to West Loyola, East Loyola. So the surveying crews will start Monday, I believe, and then that project is going to be underway, so you'll have a new roadway on Loyola. Also, 43rd and California partial force main replacement will begin April 1st with a 180-day completion. That's the stuff that people normally don't see, is all this wastewater stuff. Your agenda is riddled with emergency repairs of pumps. So what I'll start doing is when these notice of proceeds to rehab, a bunch of them come out, I'll just kind of notify the public of what's going on. Also, if you've noticed right across the street at the Butterfly Gardens, I'd like to thank the Build Strong Academy here on Williams Boulevard. They built, erected, and donated the plant seed boxes that are out there with Snoopy laying on top of it. It actually looks pretty nice. So I was, it was new to me to find out what it was, but it's for people to go and take plant seeds. If they want to plant a certain type of plant that we have out there, there'll be a packet of seeds they can take and go home and plant the same type of plants. Tomorrow, I know this isn't live, but it'll play as soon as we are at sometime early afternoon. The City of Canada's annual Easter egg hunt is tomorrow at Veterans Park, which is 1900 Williams, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's free admission. They'll have free food, fun games, a smokehouse, and of course, candy-filled eggs. So tomorrow, 10 a.m. at Veterans Park at West Metairie and Williams. And the last thing, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, council members, for continuing to support the Kenner Fire Department. And to elaborate more, there's a whole bunch of them over there that's probably going to say something. I don't know who's the speaker, but Terrence, Jason, there you go. I didn't see you.
I'm glad, because this thing is kind of wide, and I've been working
I didn't
on
see you.
all those things, so
see
glad you didn't see me. But anyway, yeah. First of all, Council, I want to, if I let you know that we are currently in our PL rating period. We actually are being assessed, inspected Tuesday, Wednesday of this week. They're coming in and go through all the equipment and hydrants and occupancy inspections and all the things that we do over Tuesday and Wednesday to gather our rating information. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be class 1. Actually, I think we should improve on our standings within the PL system of rating, which is done nationwide in every state. It's only 4 of them that you use independent. The rest of the country use ISO, Insurance Services rating system. Which brings me to the thank you. A lot of these things, a lot of the obstacles that we faced over the past several years has, been with equipment, stations, salaries, and things of that nature in order to maintain the quality of service that I expect to deliver to the community. But you guys, the council, have been 100% supportive of every effort that's been made in the past. And with that, I want to thank you for the last effort that you guys made to assist us with purchasing equipment and stuff like that. And that's why I asked the members to come in and explain to you the significance of your efforts and what it is being used for. So, thank you.
All right. It's a Dalmatian, Chief. You've been complaining for years about your Dalmatian. There it is.
So good morning. Some of the items that the council decided to purchase for us, give us funds for, one is the Lucas device. If some of you might not know what the Lucas device is, it's a chest compression system. So what this does, when we respond to cardiac events, this machine can be placed on the victim, the patient that we have, and what it will do is extend CPR, the amount of time. So currently, the protocols for EMS, if we're on a scene, they have to do CPR 30 minutes before they call it. So during that time, that wears out the rescuer that's doing a CPR. This machine takes that away. It also eliminates back injuries, because when you're riding in the back of an ambulance trying to do CPR on a patient, you're falling all over the place, and it's very unsafe. So this stops personnel from actually having to do the compressions. It also gives high quality, consistent CPR. So the machine works and it does the compressions at the amount that it's supposed to do each and every time. The percentages increase of your survival if this machine is used on you, because it's a more consistent CPR. It's a 99% of the survivors treated with the Lucas device, they come out with good neurological outcome after the 6 months follow-up with it. So it is a vast improvement of care. The other item is the thermal imaging cameras. These we use several times on many different type of calls. It could be used from fire scenes to search and rescue to hazmat calls. It could assist the firefighters in determining what the temperatures are getting at inside of the structure, because the gear we have today kind of protects us where we don't feel the heat. And so it allows them to be able to see the temperature in order to get out before a flashover which occurs, which could be very deadly. Assist the guys with moving through the building without having visibility. The only things that doesn't do is it doesn't see completely through walls, and it doesn't see through glass and mirrors. So it just reflects back on you when you shine it at glass and mirrors. But this also helps them find out where the fire is actually located inside of that. So we cannot thank y'all enough for the donations for the funding for these items. It's going to be purchasing hopefully three of the Lucas devices and 7 of the thermal imagers. So 1 for every truck. So every truck in the city will be covered with each one of those. So thank you.
Chief, that was 3 and 7, is that what you said? Three of the Lucas.
Correct, 3 of the Lucas. So the thermal imagers, when we talked to Councilman Brennan this morning regarding it, we were able to, with the type of thermal imager we're going with, we're able to actually use funding in order to get 1 more Lucas, where now every single truck is covered. Every area, every district within Kenner will have a Lucas device in it.
Very good, very, very good. I appreciate all your efforts and the efforts of this body, the members, and I don't know if Councilman Brennan wants to make any comment at this time. You wait? Okay.
Thank you.
So, good morning. My name is Raymond Guidry. I'm one of the training officers for the fire department. One of our collateral duties is we poll the guys to find out about equipment needs and wants, kind of build a wish list when it comes to purchasing equipment. And hands down across the board, those thermal imaging cameras was the absolute first thing out of every single company officer's mouth. What it gives them to do is the rapid ability to assess the situation just by a glance. So we can pull up in a truck to a house, they can utilize that thermal camera, and they can basically see where the absence of cool temperatures are. So where it's on the left side of the building, they know from the outside, hey, something's hot on the inside towards the left side of the building. So we don't have to spend time searching. We can glance through that camera, and it gives us a good idea. What it also does is rapidly gives us a picture of the building we're searching. So if there's a victim down or there's anything going on in there, it helps us see through the smoke in general terms. That company officer have that camera. He can shoot the room while his firefighters are searching. He could tell you, hey, move to the left, further deeper in the room, 10 feet. It just gives us the ability to rapidly assess situations without putting our guys at as higher risk areas, because they can see the temperature as they shoot it. And the ones that we've spec'd out for this purchase, it's almost real time. As the temperatures change, the technology in the camera is almost a real-time update. There is a slight delay just because it has to process, but it's one of the top in technology as far as it goes. So for us, it's vital, and it was an absolute priority for our members, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Councilman Brennan, would you like to?
Chief?
No, you go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make you aware too that we started our 6th academy. This is our 6th one. We have 6 members in the academy. We started Wednesday, and that's the regional training academy that we put on, the Kenner Fire Department puts on for all the Jefferson Parish fire departments, because the West Bank departments especially are too small to host their own academy. So we collectively do the training for the rest of the parish. And I think it's 8 different departments that we hold in the training academy for that run about 6 months. That started Wednesday, and 6 of those members in that academy are Kenner Fire Department members. So.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you all for being here this morning. And just to reiterate the council's commitment to public safety, not only for the police department. Obviously, when the word kind of got out about some of these things being needed for the Kenner Fire Department, each council member, without hesitation, said, I'm in, let me know, what's the number? And the call this morning to find out that the funds that we were putting up, and you were able to actually get a little more equipment, and to hear the stories of it, I didn't know the technicality or the technical specs of these items. but to know the men and women of the fire department are going to be a little safer, and our constituents and our residents are going to be a little safer because of this equipment. I think when I say this, I speak for all the council members. It just adds another little, that's great news for this contribution. So stay safe and well, men and women of the fire department, police department, and everything you all do is appreciated. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And I'd just like to thank Councilman Brennan for heading up this project. Thank you, sir, and we appreciate you on your service. And this equipment is well needed, and I'm sure it's going to save lives, definitely. So that's all good. Anything else, Mayor? Council Clerk?
Any resolutions, motions, or other items from the floor this morning? Seeing none, under the consent agenda, I have item 1, approval of the minutes, the regular council meeting of February 23rd, 2024. Item 2 is approval of alcoholic beverage permit applications. Item 2A is a resolution granting an alcoholic beverage permit to Discovery Health Sciences Foundation on April 20th, 2024 at 3837 Loyola Drive. Item 3 is approval of bingo and public gathering applications. Item 3A is application number 2388-24, Kenner Central Lions Club to hold a public gathering every third Friday of the month from March until October 2024 from 5:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. for the purpose of a cruise night at Lake Town. Item 3B is application number 2389-24, Williams Boulevard Baptist Church to hold a public gathering on March 24, 2024 from 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. for the purpose of an Easter Family Day Easter egg hunt at 3000 Williams Boulevard. Item 3C is application number 2390-24, First Baptist Church of Kenner to hold a public gathering on March 23, 2024 from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. for the purpose of an Easter picnic at 1313 Clay Street. Item 3D is application number 2393-24, City of Kenner to hold a public gathering on Saturdays, May 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th, 2024 from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. for the purpose of movies in the park at 2024 Heritage Park. I'm sorry, that's for the purpose of movies in the park 2024 at Heritage Park. Item 3E is application number 2394-24, City of Kenner to hold a public gathering on Fridays, May 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st, 2024, from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. for the purpose of music in the park at Heritage Park. Item 3F is application number 2395-24, Our Lady of Perpetual Help Roman Catholic Church to hold a public gathering on March 31st, 2024 from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the purpose of a sunrise mass at LaSalle's Landing at Williams Boulevard and 3rd Street. Item 3G is application number 2396-24, Cruise into Lake for Safe Harbor to hold a public gathering on March 24th, 2024 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the purpose of a car cruise around Lake Pontchartrain in Lake Town. Item 3H is application number 2397-24, the City of Kenner to hold a public gathering on May 17, 2024 through May 19, 2024 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the purpose of an American Veterans Traveling Tribute at Veterans Park. Item 3I is application number 2398-24, Custom Cruisers to hold a public gathering every fourth Saturday of the month from March 23, 2024 through October 27, 2024 from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. for the purpose of a cruise night and car show at the Esplanade Mall. That will conclude the consent agenda. I have a motion by Councilmember McKinney, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot. All council members in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. Under the public appearance agenda, I have item 8, public hearings and final passage. We have none. Item 9 is ordinances for the sale, purchase, transfer, lease, and/or alienation of a movable property. We have none. Item 10 is opening of bids. We have none. Item 11 is reclassification of zoning for final passage. We have none. Item 12 is other ordinances for final passage. We have none. Item 13 is resolutions and motions by council members. Item 13A is a resolution authorizing a settlement with Super Products, LLC, for property damage in an amount not to exceed $275,000. I have a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll count.
Ms. Dufresne?
Okay.
This is a property settlement. We had a vehicle that was totaled, and this is the value of the total vehicle.
Thank you.
All council members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. Item 14 is items removed from the consent agenda. We have none. Item 15 is acceptance of contracts and similar matters approved by the mayor. Item 15A is summary ordinance number 13,475. An ordinance accepting the quote from Gressy's Automotive Repairs Service for parts and labor in the amount of $6,414.32 for the Public Works Department. Have a motion by Councilmember McKinney, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot.
None.
Seeing no discussion, council members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. Item 15B is summary ordinance number 13,476. An ordinance authorizing the utilization of existing Jefferson Parish contract number 55-21408 with Lamarck Ford Incorporated to purchase vehicles on an as-needed basis in an amount not to exceed $250,000 annually for the Fleet Management Department, Fire Department, and Police Department. I have a motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney.
Explanation, please.
We currently piggyback off a JP contract now. However, the vehicles that the police and fire need are not listed on that JPSO contract. It's another one. So if we piggyback off of this one, they can get the vehicles that they need. And I couldn't tell you what vehicles they need, but it's just on another contract that we'll piggyback.
Okay. We have explanation.
No, I would just add that, we've had a couple of these come in front of you. I think we've expressed the urgency of getting these emergent vehicles in, the difficulty in doing so. So we do have multiple contracts. This is a not to exceed. This includes fire, I believe Public Works as well. Just in case we do need a vehicle, we have access to a contract. A lot of times, agencies order emergent vehicles and they don't come pick them up, or they have too many of them. So we will get a call from like Lamarck saying, hey, we have 2 emergent vehicles and we have the need. So this will give us the ability to go over there, and being as he's a local dealer, we'd rather deal with them anyway. So.
And year to date, nothing's been spent on that contract, the other JP contract.
Okay. Any questions? None.
Seeing none, council members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. Item 15C is summary ordinance number 13,477. An ordinance approving an agreement with ARCO Company Services Incorporated to perform load bank testing and preventative maintenance on various generators throughout the city of Kenner in an amount not to exceed $300,000 for the Department of Field Services. I have a motion by Councilmember Dunn, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan.
We can have an explanation on this one.
Yep. We have a contract with the current vendor who's been unable to, I guess, live up to the terms of the contract. So far, we've spent $109,787.86 since June 1st of last year. The contract is set to automatically expire May 31st of next year. Well, this is pretty much going to be a hold. If we move on from the current vendor and use ARCO while we prepare the bid specs to go out for bid once again. So that's kind of where we're at. This is just going to take place from what we have now until we go out for bid as soon as we get the bid specs together. So it should only be for no more than a few months.
Any questions? Seeing none. Council Clerk?
Yes, sir. All council members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. Item 15D is summary ordinance number 13,478. An ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Risk Tree Service LLC to furnish and install 20 10-foot white Natchez crepe myrtle trees in accordance with letter bid number 24-2109 in the amount of $8,453 for the Department of Field Services. I have a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, seconded by Councilmember Brennan.
George? Councilman Brannigan?
Yes, we ordered another 20 to finish out West Esplanade, to complete the first 20. Did not do what I thought they would do, but so we got another 20 to enhance the look, and hopefully in about 10 years they'll be fully grown and look great.
Any other comments, Mayor?
Yes, back in December is when he bought the last ones, and that bid, I mean, it came in $7,985. The low bid this time is $8,453, increase of $468 because you added water bags. I don't know what a water bag is, but that's the difference in.
Okay.
But the bids were kind of crazy. The winning bid was $8,453. The second one was $9,120, and it goes up to $13,836. And the last and highest was $23,750. So I think you're getting a good deal.
No other comments, Council Clerk?
Yes, sir. All council members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. Item 15E is summary ordinance number 13,479. An ordinance accepting the lowest responsibility received from Beacon Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Incorporated to furnish and install one 25-ton, three-phase rooftop air conditioning unit at Butch Dewey Gym in accordance with bid number 24-6805 in an amount not to exceed $52,947 for the General Services Department. Have a motion by Councilmember Sharwood, seconded by Councilmember Dunn.
Councilman Orr?
I take it that we got the CEA with Nola Sports for Butch Dewey Gym. This is the repairs that we're supposed to have to do to the gym before.
Yeah, it was an existing problem before the CEA was even, we met with them, so yes.
Okay, I guess this is IDA damage as well. We'll maybe get
I think this is just old.
just old.
Old air condition, yeah, it's not damaged, it's just old and worn out.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Glorioso? If you, no? Okay. Any questions? None, seeing none?
Council members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. Item 15F is summary ordinance number 13,480. An ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Beacon Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Incorporated to furnish and install 3-ton air conditioning unit for the planetarium control room in accordance with bid number 24-2114 and an amount not to exceed $13,500 for the General Services Department. Have a motion by Councilmember Dunn, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Seeing no discussion, council members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. Item 15G is summary ordinance number 13,481. An ordinance approving amendment number 1 to the agreement with Trantex Transportation Products of Texas Incorporated for the purchase of sign poles, brackets, and miscellaneous sign supplies to increase the agreement amount by $40,000 annually for a total not to exceed amount of $80,000 annually for the Department of General Services. Have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Councilmember McKinney?
Yes, I just have a question for Director Galleri. So, what is the reason for the increase? So, just because the hurricane supplies, or
Yes. This is the increase, the cap, due to y'all, each council member giving us money to buy necessary equipment for a hurricane. So by the money y'all provided to us, it's going to exceed the cap. So we're just extending it so we have our normal cap room to buy normal stuff throughout the year.
Okay, but so in the future, this will only be, it'll still remain at that 40?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's just this one-time increase.
Okay, great, thank you.
No further questions?
All council members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. Item 15H is summary ordinance number 13,482. An ordinance approving a cooperative endeavor agreement with the State of Louisiana Facility Planning and Control, FP&C, for Roosevelt Boulevard improvements, planning and construction project number 50-MF1-23-01 in the amount of $1,650,000. I have a motion by Councilmember Sharwood, seconded by Councilmember McKinney.
Councilman Swarr?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been on Roosevelt Boulevard between West Napoleon and West Metairie, it's in deplorable shape. We're patching it. We're doing the best we can. And we have the contract going on right now to have an 80/20, have that Roosevelt repaired. Thanks to our state representative, Joe Stagney, he was able to secure the 20% that the city would have to put up for this project. And that is what this $1.6 million is for. So I think we ought to thank Mr. Stagney for his endeavor, for his hard work, for getting us this money for this project, because it is duly needed.
Very nice. Any other comments? None?
Seeing none, council members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0. Item 15I is summary ordinance number 13,483, an ordinance ratifying an emergency repair of pump number 4 located at 24th and Delaware Lift Station by Fluid Processing Pumps LLC in the amount of $34,576 for the wastewater department. I have a motion by Councilmember Sharwood, seconded by Councilmember Brennan.
Comments? See none? Madam Clerk?
Seeing none, council members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Seeing none, motion passes 6-0.
Item 16 is ordinances and resolutions in summary for first reading. Item 16A is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from AGAS Manufacturing Incorporated to supply flags on an as-needed basis citywide in accordance with bid number 24-2113 in an amount not to exceed $25,000 annually for the General Services Department. Item 16B is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from High Tech Roofing Service Incorporated to repair 3 leaks on the roof of the Pontchartrain Convention and Civic Center in accordance with letter bid number 24-2115 in an amount not to exceed $6,717 for the General Services Department. Item 16C is an ordinance authorizing the purchase of computer equipment, peripherals, and related items on an as-needed basis from Dell Marketing LP under State of Louisiana contract number 44000-28252 in an amount not to exceed $1 million annually. Item 16D is an ordinance authorizing the purchase of computer equipment, peripherals, and related items on an as-needed basis from HP Incorporated under State of Louisiana contract number 44000-28088 in an amount not to exceed $100,000 annually. Item 16E is an ordinance approving the purchase of 40 twin mattresses and 40 twin foundations from Capital Bedding Company Incorporated under State of Louisiana contract number 44000-27189 for the Kenner Fire Department. Item 16F is an ordinance authorizing the purchase of 150 pairs of ASP Chain Ultra Plus handcuffs and EXO handcuff cases from Hartman's Hardware Incorporated in the amount of $14,062.50 for the Kenner Police Department. Item 16G is an ordinance ratifying an emergency repair of a 60 horsepower Yeoman's Pump number 1 located at 27th and Salem Lift Station by Precision PSI in the amount of $22,881.87 for the wastewater department. Item 16H is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Kim's Price South Incorporated to purchase ditch spraying on an as-needed basis in accordance with seal bid number 24-6816 and an amount not to exceed $50,000 annually for the Public Works Department. Item 16I is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Compliance Enviro Systems LLC to provide cleaning and flushing of subsurface drain lines and drainage structures on an as-needed basis in accordance with seal bid number 24-6815 in an amount not to exceed $150,000 annually for the Public Works Department. Item 16J is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Fleming Construction Company LLC to provide concrete street maintenance and small jobs on an as-needed basis in accordance with sealed bid number 24-6808 in an amount not to exceed $1,400,000 annually for the Public Works Department. Item 16K is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Pontchartrain Materials Corporation, LLC, to supply limestone aggregate on an as-needed basis in accordance with sealed bid number 24-6807 and an amount not to exceed $200,000 annually for the Public Works Department. Item 16L is an ordinance approving an agreement for phone services with Ring Central Incorporated for a one-time implementation fee of $46,375 and reoccurring fees in an amount not to exceed $140,000 annually. Item 16M is an ordinance approving a cooperative endeavor agreement with the State of Louisiana Department of Treasury for upgrades to the dog park located in Kenner City Park that will provide further ADA accommodations and accessibility for patrons. Item 16N is an ordinance approving cooperative endeavor agreement with the State of Louisiana Department of Treasury for the purchase of a new scoreboard at Muspertolino Playground. Item 16O is an ordinance approving cooperative endeavor agreement with New Orleans Dynamo Football Club for exclusive use of Susan Park Playground in exchange for recreational programming for the Parks and Recreation Department. Item 16P, as per the Public Works Department, this item needs to be removed. Item 16Q, an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Looks Great Services of MS Incorporated to provide tree work on an as-needed basis in accordance with sealed bid number 24-6811 and an amount not to exceed $300,000 annually for the Public Works Department. Item 16R is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Ramjay Construction, LLC, to provide drainage maintenance in accordance with sealed bid number 24-6817 in an amount not to exceed $1,200,000 annually for the Public Works Department. Item 16S is an ordinance approving amendment number 1 to the agreement with Sigma Risk Management Consulting, LLC, to increase the agreement amount by $4,000 annually for a total amount not to exceed of $104,000 annually and to amend the agreement rates. Item 16T is an ordinance authorizing a public hearing and amendment to the fiscal year 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023 annual action plans of the Home Investment Partnership Home Program for the Community Development Department. Item 17 is reports from the council and our special committees.
Any reports, Councilman? Councilman Brennan?
Thank you, Council Chair. I'd like to ask Mr. Al Morello to come up for a couple of minutes. He's going to give us an update on the VFW services, and, well, he'll take it from here. Thank you, Mr. Morello.
Al Morello, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 52 years. First of all, I want to express my appreciation to Councilman Brennan and his office. I ran into Councilman Brennan at the Italian Festival. He was doing volunteer work in the booth. I was doing volunteer work for my post. And he asked me if I would give a little presentation on the VFW Post 7732. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of history first, okay? It was originally founded as the Veterans of Foreign Service on September 29th, 1899, by a gentleman by the name of James C. Putnam. He was a Spanish-American War veteran, okay? On December 12th, 1899, another society was founded in Denver, Colorado, called the Army of the Philippines by General Irving Hale. In 1901, in October, they don't say who the founder was or the exact date, October 1901, another society was formed called the Foreign War Veterans. In 1913, these societies merged with, the name had been changed from the Veterans of Foreign Service to the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States. So they all merged in 1913, and that's a little something in common with the city of Kenner, because the city of Kenner's charter was restored in 1913 by then Governor Luther Hall. So we got a little bit in common. with the city of Kenner. Okay, now, that's just a little brief history. The logo we have today was adopted in 2018, the Veteran of Foreign Wars. Although our manual with bylaws and the laws and bylaws of our post still has the title on the book, on the cover of the book, in certain sections of the book, Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States. Now, what do? First of all, we recruit members who served overseas. They had to have served overseas in the war. That's why they call it the Veterans of Foreign Wars. We are a patriotic group who defend the institutions and freedoms of our country and promote camaraderie, and we are fraternal brotherhood. Okay? Now, we work with charitable organizations. One of them is the National Children's Home. We donate to them. We support them. There's 650 causes. We support 250,000 children. This is the VFWs all over the country and, all over the world. So we are self-sufficient. We receive no funding other than through contribution. We are a nonprofit organization. But this is just some of the things that we do. We have 2 poppy drives. And by the way, talking about the poppies, the little poppy flower, we have a patent on what we call the buddy poppy. The VFW was the first organization to distribute those little poppy flowers for donations. So now we have 2 poppy drives a year. I attend every one of them. I run one over there on Sam's every year. And the proceeds from that poppy drive goes into what we call the relief fund. Any of our brother members who's in distress or their families, we help them with that relief fund. If one of our members passes away, we get the okay from the family, because some families may not want the ceremony, but most of them do. So we get the okay from the family. We have a burial committee, and we have a service that we perform at the funeral, a memorial service, and military service. So this is just some of the things that we do, okay? We do a lot of community service within the community. What I do right here at these council meetings is community service. So all that goes down as community service. So it's a fine organization. We try to recruit members. That's how we receive our funding off dues. And we get a small percentage, from the national VFW. We also promote causes to help the veterans. The Vietnam veterans especially, when the Vietnam War ended, they had compensation for Vietnam veterans, only the ones who served on the ground. Over the years, through the work of the national, and by the way, we was congressionally chartered in 1936. So over the years, we have gotten Vietnam veterans who served in the Brown Water Navy, which was the back rivers of Vietnam, the tributaries, and we got them included. Then, over the years, we also got what they call the Blue Water Navy included. Because anyone who served in that region during that time, 2.5 million served over there, and 250, 260,000 were from Louisiana.
Mr. Al, if you can wrap it up, sir. You're doing a great job, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate
Okay,
the
well,
VFW.
I had a little more than 3 minutes, so.
Yeah, you're
but
approaching
anyway,
6 minutes.
That's about it, unless y'all like to hear some more. That's up to you, Councilman.
I
got some
understand.
more for you, but what I'll do is I'll save that for our Memorial Day ceremony. How about that?
And you have public comment coming up as well. In a
That's
minute.
right.
So you have,
Yeah,
have some extra time.
Councilman,
We
you
thank you.
behind the scenes. Councilman Brennan and I worked all this out weeks ago.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
We
Anybody
appreciate
got anybody would like to make any comments, any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Morello. Appreciate you being here.
And once again, Councilman Brennan, thank you, and thank you, Assistant Allison,
I
for
certainly
working with me
will.
on
Yes,
this
sir.
thing. I appreciate you coming to me with it, and I enjoyed giving this presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Al. Anybody else? Seeing none, Council Clerk?
Yes, sir. Item 18 is new business. We have none. Item 19 is unfinished business and our motions to reconsider or remove from a table position. We have none. And item 20 is persons wishing to address the council on special subject matters.
And welcome back, Mr. Al.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Okay, Al Morella, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 52 years. I want to start out first. I'm filing a formal complaint at this podium today against Waste Pro. And I'm going to also file it up in writing, and I'm going to continue to complain on this issue until it's resolved. And I'm going to tell y'all what this issue is. First of all, it's one thing to have one hopper on the back of that truck. It's a worse thing when the driver has to get out of the vehicle, leave it unattended, on the streets in our neighborhood running to work as the second hopper. Now, this is putting the citizens of Kenner in these neighborhoods, their public safety at risk. I want this problem resolved, and I'm going to stay on it. I've made some phone calls already. And if nobody down here will take care of this problem, I'm going to continue until I can get some results and take care of it myself. This is totally unacceptable. Is this what we're paying 35% more for solid waste pickup in this city? Y'all need to hop on this, man, because it's one thing to put their employees at safety at risk. It's another when they put the public safety of our citizens at risk. And that's exactly what they're doing. Now, I want to direct this to you, Chief. House Bill 187. You familiar with that? Okay, it directly affects the Kenner Police Department, a bill that was filed by Debbie Villio. This concerns promotions and vacancies. Okay, now the reason I'd like you to give us some clarity on this, because the information I have, I want to make sure that the process is not going to be tainted with political bias in filling these vacancies and having these and moving these people up. So I'd like you to give some clarity on that House Bill 187.
Yeah, well, that's something that's been talked about for some time. It basically goes to a merit-based promotion in lieu of a tenure-based promotion, but you can only go back 5 spots. So people are protected, but it also means that the worker bees will be rewarded for their work, and they will move up the ranks in accordance with this bill. It is going to a House committee next week, and I'll be up there to support it. That was put in place at my request, which a lot of agencies have done across the state in the past. We're kind of late to the game in that, but you know, it kind of rewards those employees that give 100% or do what they're supposed to do. And you know, it's based more, it's taken into consider both merit and tenure. It's not eliminating those tenured employees, but it's bringing a merit-based system into play.
Okay, I talk to your officers all the time out there on the street, and my main concern is that it's done fair and equitable.
Mine too. This will bring it to a more even keel, fair, and equitable basis, in my opinion.
How much time thank you, Chief. How much time I got left, Councilman Wilmot?
You're already at the 3 minutes, but the chief spoke for about a minute, so I'm going to give you another I'm going to give you another minute.
Okay, I'd like to direct this to the fire chief. Now, they talked about some of the equipment and all in their presentation earlier here. I'd like to know what he's doing as far as what the chief is doing as far as working out a pay plan, because I know the money hasn't kicked in yet, but we already winding up the first quarter of this year already. The end of this year, and those property taxes will be due before you know it. So I'd like to know what is he doing as far as working up a pay plan, the matrix of this pay plan or whatever. That's all I have, Councilman Wilmot.
Okay, you finished, Mr.
Yeah,
Monroe?
anybody else got any
Okay.
comments, any questions for me? Other than the chief gonna answer my question?
I think we're done.
Thank you.
Chief, if you'd like to respond.
Yeah, we've actually developed a pay plan at a $13 an hour starting rate for the members to implement that come the beginning of the year. It's proposed in the budget for next year to implement the $13 an hour starting pay plan for the members of the fire department and put them on a true pay plan. The department has never been on a true pay plan. It's been whenever you were hired, that's what your salary was, and you got promotion based on that, and we created a delta between the older guys and the newer guys with lawsuits and all these other things that happen over the years for the guys. So we're looking to correct that problem.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Next, we have Mr. Greg Teff. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Ms. Joyce Dungan. Ms.
Good
Dungan,
afternoon.
if you can state your name and address
Yes.
or district you live in.
My name is Joyce Duncan. I live at 1120 Williams Boulevard, Kenner, Louisiana. And I am here this morning to get clarity about and maybe some questions answered regarding a property that we own on 3rd Street in District 1. My husband and I, Freddie Duncan, we've owned 1005, 1007, 1009 Reverend Richard Wilson Drive, formerly 3rd Street. My husband used to have a grocery and deli, and he became ill. He had Dunkin' Food Mart there 22 years. And so recently, we have started to create entrepreneurship and development in the building, which there's 5,000 square feet, and so we have tenants, and we're developing retail space and creating a marketplace for entrepreneurship. I have called code enforcement 3 times to speak to Ms. Catherine, and as of yet, she still has not returned my call. So I want to address some questions regarding the use of the building, which I'm still confused about, because all other retail establishments or businesses can use their buildings for outside, having tents on the outside, number one, for food sales. And what I'm hoping this is not true, that number one, that no gathering permits can be used, and it is not allowed at this property. No food or drink or beverages can be sold as retail when the vendors are outside with the market. South Kenner is already a food desert, and we have tenants and people who live in our community who want to buy goods and food at the market. And then we attempted to have tables outside to have, when we have maybe small items to put outside on the sidewalk, and so no tables or displays are permitted on the outside. So my question, if Ms. Catherine would give me the opportunity, is I wanted to sit down with her to look at what are the particulars and what's allowed for MU. we've owned the buildings for 22 years. I don't know the date. I think it was 2016 when that whole corridor was changed from C1 to MU. And there are different allowances according to the ordinance that's permitted here. And retail spaces are permitted. So those are the questions that I wanted answered. I was also told by Ms. Grace, I believe, her secretary or the assistant, that I needed to contact planning. And of course, a lot of these questions are not something that planning was to resolve. I spoke to Mr. Chris, who was very helpful, and I have, again, questions for code enforcement so that I can make sure that whatever it is that I need to do to be in compliance, whatever I need to bring to this meeting, to the council, to seek approval for what we need so that we are using the property and that we are creating the marketplace for our citizens in South Kenner. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Duncan. Ms. Would you like to speak? Okay. Please.
Hello. Yes. How you doing, Mr.
Mr.
I
Dufour?
just want to clarify a couple of things. There has been, over the last year, I have dealt with, I can remember at least 2 inquiries regarding this particular property. The first last year, someone wanted to open up an outdoor oil changing facility. And I said, under no circumstances is that going to happen. Then someone approached us about wanting to park trucks from a business across the street on the property. The property is zoned commercial in as far as it is a mixed-use zoning district. And Ms. Duncan is correct. When we undertook the comprehensive plan and then put together the Unified Development Code, a lot of properties along Williams Boulevard that feed into Rivertown were rezoned to mixed use because it was designed to provide a more aesthetic, true mixed use of businesses and also potentially residential to allow more people to have an opportunity to possibly live in South Kenner. So they had approached the planning department with a zoning verification, I don't remember exactly when, but requesting certain businesses and a business incubation, I believe. Yeah. And we said, absolutely, that would be permitted on that property under the mixed-use zoning district. However, it is not permitted to have outdoor sales. The code in the mixed-use district, I believe, I don't have it in front of me, but in this conversation I had with my assistant director yesterday discussing this property, because we knew that code enforcement had gotten, and there had been some actions, and we were contacted about some of those actions. And I believe there's a number of days in which a business who is operating on those premises as a legal business in the building is allowed for so many days to have outside sales. I believe it's 30 days during the year. You can sell, but only if you are an occupant of the building. So if someone who owns just as an example, a tax preparing business, and they get a lot of people coming through in March and April, they can set up an outdoor table or a kiosk or whatever and handle some of that stuff outside. If they don't have enough room inside, they take away, some of the demand. They can do that up to 30 days, each business. But the idea that it can be used for people from outside of the property to come in and set up shop, no, that is absolutely not permitted.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Topple, I don't know if you have you make a comment now, or you can, at your choosing, if you want to give her your contact information so y'all can talk. I think it'd be good to do both.
First, I want to apologize. I have not returned Ms. Duncan's call because I've been out of the office ill. So I apologize for that, but I have not been in the office. Secondly, we do have an active court case on this particular property, and I don't know that this is a proper forum to have these conversations. the tenant, the current tenant at Ms. Duncan's location has been informed everything that needs to be provided in order to meet the requirements of either having a farmer's market outdoors or having outdoor sales in parking calculations, because all of that comes into play. So I defer to legal, I'm not sure.
Since there is an open violation in a case about this, I believe the tenant, I can sit down and talk to the property owner about exactly what needs to be done from her perspective of if she's not going to be renting to this person. But if this person wants to do these types of things, the person who's renting from you, she could probably get that information during her.
Your microphone's not on.
I'm sorry.
It's on, it's just, speak up.
During her court case. So, but yes, if she wants to do something outside, she needs to meet the permit requirements. And I believe Ms. Dawn's been here before and has been instructed a lot by Natalie on what the requirements are. You can't just open a farmer's market. You have to have parking. You have to have a permit for an outside gathering. It's not as simple as just saying, I'm going to sell some food outside. So we can, obviously give property owners the information about what's required, and then if she can pass it on, or at least be able to advise her tenant, these are the things you've been told you have to do, you didn't do them. And so that's the problem that happens. So we can share that information with the property owner.
Okay, so it sounds like we have two directors and legal involved, and so the thing I think to do is if you will, Ms. Dufresne, is to give information, contact information to Ms. Duncan so y'all can chat, if you will.
There's a breakdown between what the tenant wants, like the landlord knows she can have, and the tenant's doing one thing, and the landlord needs to know what the tenant can and can't. We can make sure.
And I would note, there is a prohibition of selling food from a tent outside your business. That is not permitted.
Would you like to speak?
Yeah.
Councilwoman
Thank you.
Dunn, thank you.
Council President, what I would like to see, John, in this particular case, instead of the going, what you can and cannot do, and I did recommend this, you have to get it in writing. And everything, if you all sit down, I'll be willing to open my office to the meeting. But when you're dealing with code and planning and all of this, it has to be done in writing. In other words, you have to have that paper in front of you, what you can and cannot do, or what you want to do with that building. So I recommend that we all get together, have a meeting, and make sure that what you can and cannot do be in writing, and not, say I can't do it, I cannot do it, but I want to see it in black and white. And I think that would alleviate a lot of the problems in going to court, because I think even in going to court, that was a misunderstanding of what I can and cannot do. So I don't know. I mean, I wasn't in on that, but I would like to see it in black and white. I don't know.
There has been a lot of exchange with Ms. Monroe I've seen it come through the legal department, and also with Natalie, there's been
I know.
a dozen, 15 back and forth, different locations of where she wanted to put an open market, different parking lots. She's been given a lot of in-depth information. We just need to make sure it's now shared with you,
Yes.
since you are the
Yes.
landowner and the
And,
property
but I
owner.
wanted to make a point to be clear that she has an occupational license, and the other renters who want to sell, they have been told that they must have an occupational license, and they will comply with that. And so any sales on the outside, or if there's space for tents, we want to work with whomever to make sure that we follow the ordinance here. And of course, my question also, it says 30 days. And so one of my questions is, how do we appeal to not be limited to only 30 days if in fact the retail owners have a license, an occupational license in our area? Why are we being limited to 30 days? And the second question is, do you need a gathering permit if you have an occupational license for a business at this address?
Ms. Duncan, I'm going to ask that you get together with our legal city attorney, Ms. Dufresne, if y'all can exchange information.
Yes, sir.
So y'all can chat about this further. I would
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in.
All
Thank
right.
you. We appreciate
Thank you,
you.
Ms. Duncan.
Anybody else have any comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.